Good morning, Tamil children. Okay, fine. So,
Good morning, sir.
good morning, Pa. Till now,
Good
what
morning, sir.
last class itself is we have completed the slide, right? Prepare detailed estimation for roads and bridges. We have seen, right? We have completed the detailed estimations for roads and bridges, right? Tell, tell Kritika. Tell. What do you want to say, Kritika?
Sir?
What do you want to say?
Nothing, sir.
So I am taking the slides now. Folder. So we have completed the abstract estimate of cost in last class. So we have completed, right? So cost estimation for item of work we have seen, right? Anyone give answer? Cost estimation for item of work we have seen, right? Cost estimation for item of work we have seen, right? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay. We have completed the cost estimation for item of work, right? Hello. Anyone give answer, please? Hello. Jagan. Kritika, you give answer. Anyone? Yeah. Is we have completed our cost estimation for item of work, right? In last class. Hello.
Started, sir. 5 items completed, sir.
Okay, 5 items. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. See, actually, today we are going to discuss about important things in construction. Already you heard about daily progress report, right? So, who don't know about daily progress report? Except Tamil children, you all know about daily progress report, right? Tamil children, do you know about daily progress report?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So, except Tamil children, all you know daily progress report, right? Hello? Kavirasu, do you know about daily progress report? Kavirasu?
Sir?
Do you know about daily progress report?
No, sir.
Fine. See, earlier class itself I have discussed, but I think few of the persons maybe forgot. Fine. So daily progress report is nothing but whatever the work progress happening in the site, right? That will be written by the corresponding engineers in the daily progress report itself. What are the works happened in the site? What are the work you are executing in the site? And you have to be write in the daily progress report in which block, which phase, which block, which floor, what kind of work you are doing and all. You have to be write it out. every day after completing that work, for example, brick work in the sense of phase 1, block 2, ground floor, grid number. If you want to give grid number, you can give. So 10 square meter means you can put it the 10 square meter. So in the 10, for example, 10 square meter work, you may be completing the work according with the labor forces. In that work itself, how many mason, how many helper you have used, right? That quantity also you have to mention in the daily progress report. This is one part. In that daily report, the daily progress report itself, you have to include the materials, what you have used, what you have purchased from the store. That also you have to write in the um, planned quantity. Planned quantity, how much you have planned. Actual quantity. So actual quantity, as per site conditions, as per some factors, maybe your quantity will be less compared to the planned quantity. That quantity you have to be writing. Then the difference, theoretical quantity, actual quantity, the difference, how it happened. That means that you have to mention in the separate column. Uh, difference, difference you have to be mention it. The reason you have to mention it. For example, 10 cubic meter. If you need concrete for the footing in the sense, sometimes it may exceed. So you have to mention the reason. So likewise for every kind of work, so you have to be mention the detail in the daily progress report. That is the main thing. Other than that, even under you, suppose for example, if you become a senior site engineer or a project engineer, uh, sub contractor will be coming under to you. You have to issue the you have to issue the nails to the carpenter, directly or indirectly. So how much quantity you have issued nails, that also uh, mention in the daily progress report. How much cement bags you have issued, how much nails you have issued, how much white cement you have issued. That and all you have to be attached in the daily progress report in written form, as well as that issue slip you have to pin in the daily progress report. So the daily progress report plays a vital role. Sometimes whenever the problem arises in the bill of quantity, whenever the problems arises in the bill payment, the particular billing engineers as well as the costing engineers will refer the daily progress report only. In the daily progress report itself, the corresponding site engineers or corresponding project engineers, corresponding project manager, corresponding planning engineer has to sign in the daily progress report itself. Then only the building engineer, costing engineer can verify the daily progress report. So, the daily progress report. So, the thing is that whenever any conflicts arises in the store, right? Now they can verify how much materials they have issued to the engineers and all. They can verify in the daily progress report itself. So, daily progress report is very important one. Not only for documentation, for solving the mitigations issues also, the daily progress report is helping to the engineers as well as the project manager. These are the main thing. Likewise, checklist also, already I have told. So blindly you can't fulfill the checklist. If you fulfill the checklist, in the sense in future you will be affected in the legal issue. So before entering the site, you have according with your work. So you may be a project engineer or you may be a project manager. After completing your MTech, you may be a senior site engineer or project engineers. Moreover, so whenever you enter into the site, um, you have to prepare the day before itself. You have to prepare for your work activity, the activity whatever it may be. Methodology will be there. For example, if you take the Som developers company, they have some methodology manual. The methodology manual itself, they has been described about each and every activity, how you have to handle the activities. For example, when you pouring the column concrete, before pouring the column concrete, you have to pour the cement slurry mix. Suppose if you not pour the cement slurry mix, your concrete will attain the honeycomb. So if your concrete attain honeycomb in the sense, or the concrete durability will be going out. That means the concrete will become weak. So that is what before pouring the column concrete. Usually in a high-rise building, the column concrete grade will be M40. So when you using the M40 grade concrete, the slump will be less. So for that, before pouring the concrete, so because automatically the slump will be less in the sense for compacting, somewhat that means without that means for especially in the M40 grade concrete, you have to use the vibrator. Otherwise, so manual compacting is not possible for the column concrete. Especially I'm talking about high-rise building column concrete. The normal column concrete, you may do the manual compaction. That too, you have to provide the vibrator. So already the slump will be less for the M40 grade concrete. So addition for that, for avoiding the honeycomb purpose, before starting the column concrete, you have to pour the cement slurry in the column box. After that, you have to pour the concrete. Suppose again, if the concrete is coming tight, again you have to provide the cement slurry. So through this, we can avoid the honeycomb in the column concreting. Likewise, for every activity, it may be a bar bending work, or it may be a carpenter work, or it may be a brick work, it may be a random rubble masonry work. So every works, each and every step has been described in the methodology manual. So this methodology manual will be different from site to site, country to country, standard to standard. Okay, so according to the company, it will be vary. You may follow French standard, you may follow German standard, you may follow the Indian standard. So without particular construction method, manual methodology, you should not execute your work. And usually in every company, especially in the in-house project is nothing but that is the own project for the company. In contract projects, everybody will be in urgent mode. So in that contract project, you can't able to discuss about the technical things and frequent interval. But in the in-house project, every day after lunch, half an hour to 1 hour, they can be allocated for the training session. Training session is nothing but first day, for example, you become a project engineer in the sense first day Jahan, for example, first day Jahan has to take the training session. That means what he is handling the work. He have to uh, explain about the activities, how he will carry the activity. Suppose if any problem arises, how he is going to solve. So everything it has to discuss in that particular training session. So like the next day, Tamarachar, the next day, Kavira, so then that next day, Sweta, then that next day, Kritika. Whatever the activity you may be handled, according to that activity, you have to explain the procedure. According to that activity, what are the necessities you are going to take. So what are the prevention measures you are going to take. So everything you have to discuss in the training meeting itself. So without that training discussions, mm, nobody can't be aware. So maybe Tamarachalvan may be expert in one activity, Kavirasa may be expert in one activity, Kirtiya may be expert in one activity, Sweta may be expert in one activity, Jagan may be expert in one activity. So when you express the technical things in the training session only, everybody knowledge will be transferred. So that is also that is the reason the company conducting the training session in the everyday afternoon. So that training sessions and all especially in every company they are not conducting the training session. Especially in in-house project only they are conducting. Okay, so then every weekly they are conducting the progress review meeting. That progress review meeting, according with the company needful, they will be examining the work progress. So always blindly you should not show the work progress inside. So whatever the chart you have done in your UG, right? Likewise here also you have to do the chart presentation. Okay, you have to provide in the PowerPoint. You have to do the PowerPoint presentation in that planned quantity. The planned quantity, whatever it may be for a footing concrete, it may be a column concrete, it may be a brickwork. So anything it may be. So that planned quantity has to compared with the actual quantity. So that you have to present in the progress review meeting. Or the difference, how much labs you are getting in your work. You have to describe why the labs coming. You have to explain. So without explanation in the progress review meeting, suppose if you not explain about your problem in the progress review meeting, the company may take lightly or okay, then later on they will be fired with you. So that is what you have to explain properly in the progress review meeting. How the labs came. So you have to explain as well as you have to you have to ask you have to put your obligation there itself. So if you give this much resource only, I can complete my work within this time. Like that, you have to be express. Otherwise, the company will take lightly. Later on, they will fire with you only. Why you didn't intimate earlier itself and all, they will be asked. So always, each and every engineer has to taken care about the uh, end date of the project. So, according to the end date of the project, you have to execute the work. Surely, in scheduling, always labs will be there. So various reasons will be there. Already we have discussed several times about material arrival to the site. Procurement problems will be there. Store problems will be there. Suppose the stores, if they not purchase the materials in the proper time, in the sense, automatically the work delay will be happen. Then local holidays for contractors as well as the laborers, the work will be getting delayed. If you go to the Maharashtra, Makara Sankranti and all, they will be celebrated. So on that Makara Sankranti itself, that 1 day or 2 days, the local 1 day to 3 days, the local holidays will be there. Further, the laborers will not come to site. So this is the main thing. And local festivals will be there. Other than that, cyclones, natural calamities will be there. So then a company overhead finance or overhead cost will be there. So according the so many reasons, the work may get delayed. After Diwali or after Pongal, immediately the laborers can't come to site. That is also the problem. So these things and all you have referred with the previous construction history. So whatever you referring the um, construction histories from the previous constructions, that doesn't matter. In every project, surely you will learn some lesson. Whatever if you do the precautions also, some lessons surely you will learn in the end of the project. See, the thing is that every engineer has to taken care about the labor's life. So you may think a safety department will be there. Safety department can take care about the labor's life. That is different. For the safety department, you are the persons has to support. So if any laborers coming to the site, they has to wear the personal protective equipment. So according with the work, the personal protective equipment will be vary. But minimum, all the laborers has to wear their safety helmet as well as the safety shoe. This is the minimum PPE. Other than that, suppose if the masons or helpers working in the concrete work, surely they has to wear the safety helmet, gumboot, safety gumboot, as well as the especially the masons has to wear the eye goggle. Suppose if the barbender working above the slab, in the sense they have to the usually that safety helmet and safety shoes is the common. Other than that, suppose if the barbender working in the slab reinforcement work in the sense they has to wear the safety belt. Yes, that means those who are working in the corner edge of the slab, they has to wear the safety belt. So this the sweepers, those who are sweeping below the basement, they has to wear the safety mask. Likewise, according with the activity, personal protective equipments will be vary. These are the main thing. And one more thing, according with the rest pauses, workers' output will be vary. So, um, moreover, 8:30 to 9, the especially if it is the contract project, 8:30 itself, the work starting time will the starting time work 8:30 is the starting time work for the contract project. If it is the in-house project, the work will be going to start at 9 o'clock. So after 1.5 hours or 2 hours, usually they are giving the rest pause. So if you not give the proper rest pause, labors can't give more output. They can't give more productivity. So psychological point of view, you have to think about the progress. At least minimum 15 minutes. At 10 minutes, you have to give the tea break for your labors. Moreover, you may be an entrepreneur in your future. So the technical thing is very, very important. That is one side. Another one side is the construction management. Without construction, if you are 100% strong in the structural, that is very, very good. Apart from that, you have to do the construction management. Without construction management, you can't save the cost in construction. You can't complete the project in the time. So that will be there. So how much structural engineering is important, right? That merely that much important. Uh, Also, you have given the construction management. So, especially if you take the construction management, you have to focus in the cost as well as safety. Likewise, you have to concentrate in quality, cost, safety. Then you have to think about technical things also. These are also plays a vital role in the construction management. And one more thing, every 15 days, the engineers has to make the build. He may be a project engineer and he may be a site engineer. According with the company norms, build preparation will be vary, but content should be same in the all construction. So build period, especially in construction, especially in the MNC construction, every 15 days, all the engineers has to make the bill preparation. So how you will make the bill? Before making the bill, you have to write the M book. M book is nothing but measurement book. Already you have studied in your UG. In the last unit, you have studied, I think so. In the measurement book itself, the name of the contractor name you have to mention. The name of the work you have to mention, in which block, which phase, which block, the locations you have to mention in the measurement book itself. The bill period, which date to which date. Usually, the bill period contains 15 days. Then the contractor's account number you have to mention in the measurement book itself. Then, as usual, the estimation how you have provided serial number, description of work, length, width, depth of that particular work. Okay, that also you have to mention. The description itself you have to explain properly. For example, excavation means in which phase, which block the excavation work is going on, and all you have to mention in the description. Along with that, you can give about the grid number, which grid to which grid you are following the excavation. That too you have mentioned in that. Okay, for example, that is for excavation. Likewise for brickwork also, which phase, which block, which grid to which grid. Likewise for concrete also. When you mention the concreting, you have to tell about the grid number, which column size also you have to mention. So if you go to the site, see these are the problem may arise in the construction. That is what I am explaining. So when you're writing the DPR or when you're writing the measurement book, the column size you have to be mentioned. If you take the structural drawing, the drawing itself, there has been mentioned about the column sizes and all. For C1, C2, C3. So all the C1 columns in the construction having the same dimension. Like this for C3. For C3, size should be 1250 in the sense all the C3 1250 to 1250 mm in the sense all the C3 column will be 1250 by 2250 by 250 mm only. So that is what the column numbers has been mentioned in the construction site. Likewise for footings also, the footing size, grid number you have to mention, footing number you have to be mentioned. So these are so if you mention properly in the measurement book, in the sense in future if any mitigations arises through your M book, it may solve through your M book and DPR. Surely it will be solved. And one more thing, another one problem may happen in the site. What is the problem? Sometimes uh, when your contractor making the cover block, it will be coming under in the piecework. Before telling about the piecework, I want to remind two things. One is the daily labor, NMR. The NMR is nothing but is the daily wages role. According to their daily work, the company may provide money per day. And at a time they may give 300 or 400. At a time they may give 300 for NMR work, 300 to 400 they are giving. So that is for sweepers, they are including in the NMR. And the NMR is nothing but daily wages labor. For sweeping work, securing work and all, they are providing the NMR. If you take the piece work for concreting, all kind of concreting works coming under in the piece work. For brick work also coming under in the piece work. Barbening works also coming in the piece work. When your contractor making the cover block, per cover block they will be getting only 25 paise to 50 paise. So on those situations, what you have to do? So surely that contractor will be getting loss. On that time, for that particular contractor itself, you have to do some profitability work. Or you got it? When you're doing the hacking, you may get some less profit only. The piecework quantity rate will be less. So for concreting, profit will be more. So on the situations, you have to balance your contractor. One item, if you give the low profit work or the less loss profit means another work you have to give more profit. Like this, you have to balance your contractor. Otherwise, your contractor will not sustain in your construction. So always you think about your contractor's labor. Without your contractor labors, your work will not going to exceed. Uh, your work will not going to be executed. So this is the main thing. Second one, whatever the construction problems will be there, sub labor camp. You have to provide the proper labor camp. What is the labor camp? Moreover, you know, most of you know about the labor camp. And the labors, those who are working under the construction, they usually to stay in the labor camp only. The labor camp, in the labor camp itself, you have to provide proper water facilities, water MS roofs. So you have to provide for them temporary houses. It may be um, make with the GA sheets. The roofs may be the GA sheets. Side of the walls has to be made with the GA sheet roofs. Usually, this kind of GA sheet rooms only the company giving to the laborers. For them, the sanitary facilities you have to provide for proper sanitary providers. Sanitary facilities you have to provide for the laborers. So you have to provide proper labor camp facilities. Otherwise, the labor will make strike. If you provide proper labor camp facilities only, we will come to work in the site. Like that, they will put the obligation. So these are the things in the construction, main things in the construction. And sometimes, suppose if the contractors attends the loss in the bill, surely they are thinking to go out from the construction. For them, you have to do some arrangements. Sometimes more profitability work will be there, right? When the contractor attends when the contractors getting more profit work in the 15 days build, right? On the time what you have to think is you have to calculate the NMR. That means piecework. You have to provide the piecework only. The problem is if you provide a full amount for them, uh, they feel pride. First one. Second one, they always to take only the profitability work. Third one, they won't take the less profitability work, or they won't accept the loss profitability work. So on the situations, what you have to do is NMR you have to calculate. That should be the piecework. That may be a piecework. You have to do holding. You have to do the holding in the cash flow. How? You have to calculate the NMRs. For example, Brigos coming under the piecework, that you have to clear. But in the calculation itself, how many machines and how many helper has been worked for that piecework every day. That every day calculations you have to put it. Per day, how much machines record? Per day, how much helper record? Like that, that calculations you have to be put in. So 10 days if they have worked in the sense, a 10 days calculation you have to put for the NMR. Plus 20 to 30% extra amount you have to add, and you have to give to the contractor. So if you do this, the contractor will not get loss, and also you have to tell your amount will be in hold. When you are attending lost profit, on the time we will release that amount. Like that, you can intimate them. So these are the management things in the contracting areas in the construction. So I think, and one more thing, when you doing the PCC marking, footing marking, PCC marking, for PCC marking, so whatever the marking you may do in construction, first of all you have to set the benchmark from the roadways. Then for every grid you have to make the grid pillar. That pillar itself, the total stations, you have to mark out the points in the PCC as well as in footing as well as in the column. So for PCC marking, grid pillars you need it. And normally for the PCC marking, you can fix the line dory, one grid to another grid. The grid itself, you can use the triangle and make the PCC center point, and you can mark the PCC other sides by the help of the line dory, plumb bob, right angle. You can make the PCC marking. For that, you can use the scales also. Whenever you're doing the PCC marking, you have to think about the cover of the footing. So footing size will be, for example, footing size will be 750 mm by 750 mm in the sense you have to give 150 mm cover. According with the drawing specifications, you have to include the cover for the footing. So every size 150 cover you have to be increased. That means the size will be 750 plus 150. How much it comes? 900 mm. So for that 750 mm by 750 mm footing, you have to mark the PCC 900 mm by 900 mm. So before making the PCC marking, for every grid has to be fixed. The grid pillar you can fix for every 3 meter or every 5 meter or every 10 meter. That depends upon the construction style. No need to worry. The thing is that you have to mark the PCC. So after marking the PCC, by the help of the grid pillar, you can fix the total stations or theodolite. You can make the column marking. Instead of that column marking, you have to make the footing marking. Instead of that footing marking, you can make the column marking. So pedestal. So that column marking, before column marking, you have to make the pedestal marking. After pedestal marking, only you have to make the column marking. So likewise, your constructions going on. These are the main thing. So after that, when you shifting the soils, example, trial pit. Why you are doing the trial pit test? Every 3 meters you are doing the trial pit test. By the help of the JCB, you have to dig the soil to 1 meter. After taking the soil, you have to give into the soil test. So in that, you have to determine the soil bearing capacity, the liquid limit and plastic limit of the soils and all. You have to check it out. Whatever you are excavating the soils, right, that you have to backfill in other phases. Suppose the soil is worthy, how you know that soil is worthy? From the soil testing report, you can do with backfilling. That soil means you can do the backfilling. Otherwise, you have to take the soil from other areas and you have to do the backfilling. When you're doing the backfilling, you have to give proper earth rammering. That means you have to give proper compacting. For that compaction, you can use the earth rammering. So every 300 mm, you have to sprinkle the water. That means after filling every 300 mm, you have to sprinkle the water and you have to compact it. Above that, you can do the earth. You have to run the earth rammering machine. Through that, the earth will be getting compacted. So likewise, you have to do the backfilling. So PCC has been laid by M10 concrete for PCC for every columns, for PCC for every footings. Usually you are fixing the M10 grade concrete. If it is the high risk building, you must use M10 grade concrete for the PCC. Okay. So if you go to the high risk building, every footing having a separate PCC. Okay. If it is the mass footing only, you have to provide the mass PCC. Otherwise, for individual footings, you have to provide the PCC in the construction. Above the PCC, you have to mark the footing dimensions. You have to mark it. And above that footing marking, you have to fix the foot postment. Once again. Okay, I think your time's up. Jonam, I'm calling. Sorry, we can meet in the next class. Due to the net connections, I'm not able to connect as early. Sorry. Anyway, we'll meet in next class. Jonam, is waiting. Please join my class. Thank you very much.